Take one.
Hello and welcome to the Studio Rat HQ podcast. And today we're going to go back into the time machine and talk about an album from 1978. But as you may
Mr.
know,
Peabody set the Wayback Machine for
Exactly.
Malibu, California, 1978.
Hello, I'm Peter the Historian. How are you?
Hi, I'm hot.
Now the totally hot Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia released in 1979 what's been described as her most fun album. The rock and disco tinged Totally Hot, embarking on a world tour to support the release.
Olivia Newton-John's new album is Olivia Totally Hot on MCA Records and Tapes.
Grease made Olivia an international celebrity, and like her character in the film, she decided to reinvent her image. On her 1978 album, Totally Hot, Olivia abandoned her pure and innocent pop sound in favor of tougher, more rock-oriented material.
I think in my career what helped me make a change in music was Grease, because as Sandy 1, I had Hope See Devoted to You. As Sandy 2, I got to sing You're the One That I Want, and I think that transition into that more kind of rock pop style gave me an opportunity to really go more in that direction. It became a little more edgy after that.
talking about albums that were recorded at Indigo Ranch Studio in Malibu, California.
This is a one-of-a-kind board built for the Indigo Ranch Studio in Malibu, California. It has over 100 gold and platinum records to its credit for such artists as Neil Young, Bob Dylan, the Beach Boys, Marvin Ziggy Marley, Neil Diamond, Olivia Newton-John, Lenny Kravitz, George Martin.
Let's kind of seep into Olivia Newton-John here. This album came out in November of 1978. Or both of you receive a phone call from Olivia Newton-John's management, or she shows up? What happened?
The management got a hold of my partner at the time, Michael Hoffman, and wanted to book time for an album with Olivia.
Had you guys met her before or what?
No, everybody, of course, had some picture of who she was because of her notoriety with the movie Grease, which had just come out, and this was her follow-up album. We very much look forward to seeing her, the legend.
There was obviously a lot riding on this album. You know, she was at kind of the peak of her fame at that point.
The album did very well. It had a couple of singles. One was A Little More Love, which was number 3 on the pop charts, number 94 on country, and number 4 on adult contemporary.
Bonsoir. It's possible to hear a second song?
Sure.
Pleasure. Whose title?
A Little More Love.
Well, Olivia, you've sort of worked with John Travolta.
Excuse me.
No, but
I'm sure that you all know this gentleman. This is Ian Meldrum, and you're watching Countdown all across Australia, and this is my new single, A Little More Love. I hope you like it. What were you saying?
give my regards to John Travolta, will you? No, I didn't push her. Honest to God, didn't push her.
The whole idea was that you went back.
Oh, can we do it again then?
This song is my new record, so I just cross my fingers that you like it. It's called A Little More Love. Night is dragging her feet. I wait alone in the heat. I know that you'll have your way till you have
Olivia's latest album is called Totally Hot. I would say that's aptly titled. And she's been kind enough to put together a special number from the album, especially for us. So watch this.
Pour la première fois en France depuis son énorme succès dans Grease, dans le film Grease, voici Olivia Newton-John que j'ai appelé Olivia. Thanks for being on the show. Et voici son prélude, Totally Hot.
And now the song with the title Totally Hot. Thank you very much.
That leap. You were telling me about that leap. It scared you to
Oh,
death.
I was so scared. I have a thing about heights. I'm not very good
join
at
the
heights.
club.
And we had to jump off a bench that was up on a thing into one of those airbags.
How far?
It felt like about 20 feet, but I'm sure it was probably about 3 feet. It was about 6, 8 feet or something. But, oh, my stomach. You know that feeling when you have a dream?
Oh,
it
yeah.
really feels like
Well, you're
that.
never going to hit bottom. You're just
Yes,
flying
right.
through the air.
Everybody knows Olivia's hot, and her music's never been hotter than it is on her latest album.
Gonna go out tonight, gonna feel alright. If it tears me right in two, 'cause I just can't stay feeling this way with a heart that's full of you. And I'll be dancing round and round.
Olivia Newton-John's new album is Olivia, Totally Hot, on MCA Records and Tapes.
If I can just hold my ground.
Do you guys recall where if you were sitting around in the back of the control room or whatever, where she's like, I just nailed that, awesome, and the producer was like, let's do it again. Was there a lot of that, or was everybody like, yeah, you did nail it, or was it?
Oh, I think, you know, what I recall is, I mean, she worked hard, you know, when she went out there. You know, she, you know, didn't always get it the first take, you know, and sometimes it was her saying, no, that wasn't right. Sometimes it was a producer, you know, saying, no, that wasn't right. But, you know, she was real professional at, you know, just doggedly staying with it.
Yep. I mean, you can listen to any song on that album, and they all, you know, there's not any real awful, you know, oh, let's throw that in as a B-side. They're all good songs. Yeah.
No, but you can also.
And they were all given serious mix attention, and they were all given serious vocal attention.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine an artist of her caliber putting any filler in on an album.
Saw the light, but it was too late, too late. I wanted to fight, but it was too great to fight it. Guess I'm loving on borrowed time. Didn't know that you could not be mine. I'm the fool, I guess. Oh, baby, guess I'm loving on borrowed time. Didn't know that you could not be mine. I'm the fool, I guess. I'm the fool, I guess. Oh, baby, I'm the fool, I guess. Oh, honey, I'm the fool, I
Two of the songs were hits on this record. One was A Little More Love, and then the other one, Deeper Than the Night, was number 11 on pop, number 87 on country, and number 4 again on adult contemporary. Well, Deeper Than the Night, for me, when I hear that track 4, you know, after a lot of history, but you can seriously go, that song sounds very different than the first 3 tracks.
Oh yeah.
And it was, of course, a hit. Were you guys around when they were recorded, and was there a vibe that this is a hit? Was there a vibe that this one's different than the rest? Or did it just happen? And then, of course, the other one being a Little More Love, they stand out. So when they were recorded, was there a vibe that you really got from?
Yeah, I remember one of those things that just kind of came together, you know, and it just clicked.
can't imagine why you say the things you do. Maybe in time I'll understand. What is the reason for the emptiness you feel when I'm trying everything I can? My love is running deeper than the night, stronger than the north wind blowing. It's fire burning bright, and it's always been this way.
Yeah. So going back to either the production process, one of the things I heard is especially on the first track, which is called "Please Don't Keep Me Waiting," were synthesizers and a vocoder. Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
I recall them using the Aphex Oral Exciter significantly on that project. It might even have a credit. I'm not certain.
Well, that's what I go back to, especially on that first track. Is it doesn't sound like it was played. It sounds like it's an arpeggiator of some sorts that had a part, and it could have been. It's like, and then there's this solo where it almost sounds like a sax solo, but it's her voice.
Yes, at the end, I heard that.
Well, that you didn't have sampling back then, so that was why I thought it might have been a vocoder.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, what's going on here when I heard that too?
You guys are both going.
I think she sang it.
Oh, that went through some kind of processing though. You can hear it.
It's one heck of a voice.
Just thinking about that song being laid down, the vocals for that song, I recall Olivia on the outtakes, or while the tape was being rewound, she would practice saying this phrase from that old movie called The Fly. And it was the fly on the wall going, "Help me," only she was, "Help me," in her highest high-pitched voice, and to crack up.
That's great. So
for anybody who doesn't know it, play that track back. Please Don't Keep Me Waiting, and you will hear the absolute creative thing we're talking about.
Yeah, it's got this vocal part that it sounds like
no one else is reproduced.
Derek, do you have the album up there? Can we just even play that section, or?
How about Japan? You're a big hit in the Orient, aren't you?
I was there I did a world tour in November, December. I went to Australia and Japan and Europe. I covered about 8 countries in Europe in a week. And it was pretty crazy, but so...
How can you cover 8 countries in a week?
In a very fast jet. No, I think I was in
but you're not being
2 countries in one day.
Which
I did
ones?
television shows. I think it was Germany and Amsterdam and England, and went to Paris for some television. It was great, but it was hectic. It was 10 weeks on the road, and so that really covered me.
So
did I'm sorry, real quick. Did I see a cover on that album? Did you see "Give Me Some Lovin'" was on there?
Yeah, that's the Spencer Davis group. Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It's over, you know it's over. We're just going through the motions, but we're sailing separate oceans, worlds apart. And you know it's breaking my heart. I was a dreamer, you were a dreamer. But perfection is consuming, and it seems we're only human. we disregard solutions while we cling to our illusions once again. And we keep remembering when seasons are changing, all my reasons are changing, but the story isn't ending. So we find ourselves pretending one more day, and the years keep slipping away. Guitar. Tomorrow, we're on a little bit faster. Tomorrow, we're gonna find what we're after at last. Feelings that we left in the past. There's romance in sunset, with roads against the current to the end. But tomorrow, we're on a little bit faster. Tomorrow, we're gonna find what we're after at last. Feelings that we left in the past.
With me and sing that song every night. I think you know the words better than I do. You were fantastic. I should form a choir, a Dutch choir, and take you with me. Okay.
All right. Well, another thing about this record is, well, the budget's unlimited, I would guess, after Grease. You know, they were just like, whatever you need would be my guess. Was she there for all the sessions when all the backing musicians were doing their parts, and did she have a say-so in that?
I remember her being there an awful lot.
Okay. Bart, what is your take on that?
Yeah, she was there for the critical decision stuff. You know, I don't think John Farrar went too far without, you know, getting input from her. You know, they were definitely working as a team there.
Yeah, and by that time she had already had she had a release every year in the 70s except for 79. So she already had a lot of stuff under her belt. I'm pretty sure she would kind of know where she wants to be.
Do you remember how long she was there, Bart?
I'm thinking it was a better part of a month.
Well, did who arranged? Because the arrangements on these tracks is fantastic. Who arranged it? John Farrar, or was there a musical director there too?
I don't recall a musical director. I think it was John.
Okay, because the arrangements were just like, wow.
And you get somebody like John Farrar saying, well, this is the kind of vibe we want on a record, and, you know, we need space for Olivia to sing, and we need, you know, holes filled up at this point and this point, you know, going into, you know, a little solo section here or a bridge section here. Why did they end up at Indigo? Well, part of it was Olivia wanted to be there. She lived in Malibu, and she wanted a studio that was close to home versus having to drive into Hollywood every day and driving 30 miles and, you know, 5 miles up in the hills and a mile of dirt road. This was, I mean, Bart, do you remember one day they had to do construction on the road, and Olivia stopped her car and walked in. You know,
she just, you know, dealt with the situation rather than complain about it.
This was not some typical diva. I mean, she was like the most real person I've ever met.
So unlike a lot of your other artists, she didn't bring like a whole entourage with her?
No, I always remember her driving up alone in her white convertible.
Her white Mercedes convertible. Walked in, sat on the couch, and chit-chatted, and waited for her part to be called into the studio, and then would go in and do whatever was necessary for her, and then would come out and, you know, sit and chat, and was like super friendly and just, you know, a dreamboat. Some of my fondest memories of this whole album were sitting on the couch in the lobby just talking to Olivia.
Yeah.
Because she was like the most real person. You could talk to her about anything. You were talking to a real person who was one of the prettiest, smartest, coolest people you've ever met. She was just a wonderful person.
When I was doing some initial research about this and going on YouTube and watching videos, a lot of the commentary for that this woman was all classy. She didn't even have to exploit her sexiness, but comparatively to what some of the female artists are doing nowadays to attract your attention, she didn't have to do any of that and was still a superstar. What is your takeaway from the Olivia Newton-John Totally Hot session, Richard?
I think it was really the experience of working with her. Every woman superstar that I have ever worked with is different than her, and seeing that you can have a woman of her caliber and stardom who was just a plain old nice hometown chatty girl that had incredible talents but was moreover a human being, and I think I learned a lot about life from her.
I have a very gracious friend. You have no idea how lovely she is.
When you say Olivia, there is no other Olivia that I know of.
I mean, if I can talk about it like she's not really here.
I know, I'm probably the most difficult customer you've ever had.
Oh, Olivia, Olivia, I am bewitched by your beauty. Cinderella and the Pillsbury Doughboy together again.
The thing about Olivia is that, you know, she is this superstar, but she quickly becomes a person to you and a friend.
She is beautiful, affectionate, tender, gentle, caring, and creative.
She is so kind and so wonderful and so generous and so dear.
Beautiful.
Clear.
The thing about Olivia is that she's not changed at all. I mean, the only thing that she's done is just matured into a more beautiful woman.
She means it, you know, from the bottom of her heart. She just wants to help everybody.
She's just a great all-round person who knows that to be happy, you've got to be happy with yourself, not the image of who you are.
So natural and so down to earth and so not like a celebrity. It was almost shocking.
She's a wonderful girl and never changed. She's exactly the same as she was when I first met her years and years ago.
There's a lot of stars that I call it the one-hit record, 6 bodyguard syndrome, right? Olivia, 6 hit records, no bodyguards. She just is, you know, she's a hanger. I mean, she never, ever, ever played the superstar role.
She's so talented and she's got, you know, unlimited energy and fun, and she's the greatest.
And I wish I was there to hear all these stories about you. I've heard a couple, but I don't believe anything. Honest.
But I'll tell you what matters, and that's friendship. And I consider you a friend. I love you and I respect you.
She's a woman of great poise, dignity, and class.
She's beautiful. She's very talented, unbelievably sweet. And you find yourself looking for things that might be wrong.
Don't tell him, please.
Well, it's really annoying because you find out that you're hardworking, you're passionate about your work, full of energy when everyone else is dead on their feet. and the painful truth is that you're everything that people think you are on the first impression of you. And when you throw in kind and generous and absolutely loyal, it's almost hard to hold your food down.
Oh, you're sweet. I tell you,
Beautifully said. Thanks very much, John.
Spoken like a true songwriter.
It's you and 15,000 of your friends and family. You are the most amazing person, the most amazing mum, most amazing ambassador, singer, dancer. We just love you, and I just saw right now after 3 we're going to say we love you, Olivia. 1, 2, 3. We love you! We love you, Olivia. Bye.
And through all of her success, she has remained herself, which is a delightful, unspoiled, beautiful person.
And she's still remained the same. She's remained honest, beautiful, serene, humble, just an extraordinary human being. And she was back then and she still is now. She just gets better. Great role model, what can I say?
I honestly love her. Period.
Olivia Newton-John, welcome to our show. Hello, nice to see you here. Hello. Hello. Olivia, in a music poll of an English music magazine, you were voted one of the 10 best woman singers in the world. Would you attribute this success to the film Grease?
Actually, I'm very thrilled that this is the third year that I've been in the top 10, so I would have to say no, but I'm very pleased that it happened again.
Do you think there's a danger you are now becoming too strongly identified with the disco boom?
I don't think so, because I had a singing career before Grease, and Grease really isn't disco. I don't know how I became a disco singer. I don't think so, no.
So the last question is, perhaps next year you have a great acting career or a great singing career? What do you mean?
I hope so. I hope both.